New World Order all the time in our headlines, and here we see it again. We ran out of time. I wanted to show you this last week. Ahmadinejad stresses need for, look at that, New World Order. He's not afraid to say it. Medvedev, of course, that's the Russian presidency's chance for New World Order. Kissinger, well, you're at, I'm going to use it again. Obama primed to create New World Order. You see what I mean? Everywhere. The world must forge a new order or retreat to chaos. And at West Point, take a look at what happened. Obama presses for New World Order to defeat Al-Qaeda. Now that is at our West Point, friends. Cybersecurity bill to get President new emergency powers. And Canada, world power. Now, of course, they participated, as I said, in the Bilderberg conference. And, of course, many of our notables from the United States participated also. Friends, I know that you noticed the New World Order all the way through. Well, the Bible speaks very, very tellingly about how many world orders there would be in history. There would be 7, right, Jack? And what are they?
And that's Revelation 17:10. There are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and 1 is yet to come. Now, the 5 fallen were Assyria, Egypt, Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. The one that wasn't in existence at that time was Rome. And number 7 is when the Antichrist comes to power, the ruler of the New World Order. And it is called the revived Roman Empire or the European Union today. Now, there was a time when Nebuchadnezzar, and this is the 3rd one in power, that's where we begin, because the other 2 are passé, saw this image in a dream and he couldn't remember what it was all about. So he said to his magicians, astrologers, soothsayers, tell me what the dream was from and have you killed if you can't. Well, they couldn't. He procrastinated, put it off, because he heard of a young Jewish lad by the name of Daniel who had tremendous insights, powers from God. And this lad stood before Nebuchadnezzar. He said, oh, you are chosen of God, dear king, because God has shown you the secrets of what shall be in the latter days, at the time of the 7th World Empire. And he said, now you are number 3, Babylon, but you'll be overtaken by the Medes and the Persians, who will be overtaken by the Greeks, who will be overtaken by the Romans, and right at the end there'll be an amalgamation of these nations in the revived Roman Empire or the European Union. You say, well, how do I know that's right? Okay. The first empire is Assyria, and that's Genesis 2:14. The second is Egypt, that's Genesis 12:14. Babylon, Daniel 1 verse 1. The Medes and the Persians, Daniel 5:28 and 8:20. And then Greece, Daniel 8:21 and 10:20. And finally Rome is Daniel 9:26 and Romans 1:7. And that is the final world empire. We're there, ladies and gentlemen. We've lived to see it. And what Nebuchadnezzar was shown by God, that this would be the final sign, is what we're seeing right now. Christ is about to come and set up his kingdom. And when he comes, he destroys the leader of the New World Order, 2 Thessalonians 2:8.
Well, you know, Jack, you have heard him repeat that before. But the importance of it is that we're right at the end. We are entering into that 7th World Empire, and we're reading about it all the time in the newspapers right now. Well, there were some organizations in days gone by who really wanted to do what we're doing right now. Organizations that said, we want this last world empire. We want a great world empire. And we're going to go back and forth here, and I'll name them, and then Jack can tell us what this is all about. Organizations.
7 of them, right, Stella?
7.
And they're all in existence, working full speed for this goal right now.
The New World Empire. The first one being the Illuminati.
They were created in 1771, though others said they were in existence for a couple thousand years in Egypt. But in 1771, a missionary from the Illuminati came to Germany looking for someone he could convert to become the leader of the Illuminists. And he found a man by the name of Adam Weishaupt, who was a professor at the great university there in Bavaria, which is today's Germany. And lo and behold, his goal was to create a leader that would take over the whole world, and the Rothschild supported him, saying if we can get enough bankers together to support this, perhaps we can rule the world. It was a goal they had in mind. Well, Weishaupt controlled this new one world order and the goal for which they were working in the future for a couple of years, and when he passed, it was given to two 33rd degree Masons, and that was Albert Pike of America and Giuseppe Mazzini of Italy. They ruled for a number of years, and one day they sat down and planned 3 different world wars. You know all about World War I and II, but there's a third one coming, and it was all to bring this world government into existence. And believe me, this third world war is right on as they're planning it to bring in this final government. It's here, ladies and gentlemen, and when it's here, Christ will come.
Oh, that is exciting. It is here. And there was another organization called Council of Foreign Relations that wanted a world empire also, Jack.
And they came into existence in 1922, promoted by Rockefeller, and I could give you quote after quote on how men within this organization have been promoting this one world government, the new world order. It's rising.
Heard an awful lot about this one, the Bilderbergs.
They came into existence in 1954 in Holland, and their goal was to incorporate all of Europe as the beginning of the new world order. And you know, they've gone so far as to say at a recent meeting in 2008 in Virginia, we are going to control the people of the New World Order through a microchip in everyone's body by 2017. And this is the organization that Kissinger promotes and says that Obama might control in the future. He said it, I didn't. And they control him through these microchips, and it's called the mark of the beast in Revelation 13 verses 16. Listen to it. Because of all was small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or forehead, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that understanding count the number of this beast, this world dictator. His number is 636. 666. You heard often about it. You could also find it in Revelation 14 verses 9, 11, 15, 2, 16, 2, 19 verse 20, and 20 verse 4.
Oh, and then number 4 of the 7 that we're going to name the Trilateral Commission.
They came into existence in 1968, and as you know, Trilateral means 3, so this is Japan and the United Nations and the European Union combined making decisions for that hour in history.
And then the Club of Rome. We've heard of that very, very often, Jack.
The Club of Rome said this is the New World Order. This is the revived Roman Empire. And they said it in 1973. And I want to tell you something. Here's how far they've gone. The Bible mentions there'll be 10. And that is Daniel 7 verses 7, 8, 20, 24, Revelation 12, 3, Revelation 13, 1, and Revelation 17 verses 3, 10, 12, and 16. And I always preached that there would be 10 nations like most prophetical men said for years. But in recent days we found out that it would be a 10-division world empire. Rabbi Hagin, the great Jewish leader of 2,000 years ago, said there will come a Gentile monarchy, and when it comes, it will control the world. And they will divide all of the globe into a 10-division world empire, and that will announce that our Messiah, our Mashiach, is about to arrive. And men like Barnabas, who traveled with Paul in Acts, and men like St. Irenaeus and Jerome of the Latin Vulgate all said, when this 10-division world empire comes, our Christ will come and set up his 1,000-year kingdom in Revelation 20 verse 4. Now, they've already divided the 27 nations into a 10-grouping figure. 10 for all 247 nations. Listen to this. Number 1, America, Canada, Mexico. Number 2, South America. Number 3, Australia, New Zealand. Number 4, Western Europe. Number 5, Eastern Europe. Number 6, Japan. Number 7, Central Asia. Number 8, South Asia. Number 9, North Africa and the Middle East. Number 10, all the rest of Africa. The whole world already divided and waiting.
You know, Jack, that's sort of a new light that you had not long ago.
Yes.
You never dreamed that it would be exactly like that, did you?
I went back to the history books. I was shocked what these men said. I just quoted.
Well, we all know about the United Nations. From day one, they became very, very important to the world and pushing for a new world order, right, Jack?
Primarily in 1980. And you know what's so important about that is because they are now saying we're creating a law against hate speech. And as Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, said, soon we will not be able to say Jesus is the only way because that will be counted as hate speech. And it's the United Nations that's creating this thing for the coming world government. Why? Because a religious leader will rise in Revelation 13:11 and he will blaspheme the name of God, Revelation 13:5, because he wants to say, I am God. Magnifies himself above every God, Daniel 11:36, and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, 2 Thessalonians 2:4. So we have to get away from preaching Jesus is the only way. It doesn't matter that 400 times this book says he is the only way. It doesn't matter that it says 700 times that it's the blood. We have men like our president who are now saying, along with Oprah Winfrey and many others, there are many ways to heaven. Wrong! 400 times it's Jesus. He said, I'm the way, the truth, the life. No man, no man, no man can come unto the Father but by me, and said, you die in your sins if you don't believe that I am he, the way. John 8:24.
Well, speaking about Oprah Winfrey, and many of our TV performers and well-known celebrities, they are very much for the New Age movement. Are they really connected with wanting to have a world empire, to have world power?
This is really something, because when this leader comes to power, he's going to, as I have said already, magnify himself above every god. He's going to say, I am God, 2 Thessalonians 2:4. And that goes right along with the New Age movement, because they all say, we are gods. And you know, I am as God the Father's title, Exodus 3:14, and it's the title of Christ in John 8, verses 56 to 58. That's why Jesus so often said, I am the way, the truth, and life. No man can come unto the Father but by me. I am the door, John 10:9. And he added in verse 1, anyone who comes any other way, climbs up any other way, except by the door, is a thief and a robber. If you're a thief and a robber, you're not going to heaven. And you're a thief and a robber, according to Jesus, if you say there are other ways to get to heaven. And they're all saying, we are. There's Shirley MacLaine, Oprah Winfrey recently with Foley, I am. That's the title for deity. They're claiming to be little gods, and when the big one comes, that they all worship, Revelation 13, verse 8, it's going to be amazing. He'll say, I am the God of all you little gods. The whole seven are now in progress, and Jesus is about to come.
You know, Jack,